Hello, art friends. My name is Fleshwood, and today I'm going to be drawing all of the entities in the game Doors from memory. Doors is a new Roblox game where the player ends up in a creepy haunted hotel and has to successfully run through 100 doors without dying, all while trying to evade several mysterious entities. While I draw, I will be reading a fan-made Doors story. I hope you enjoy. At the end of this video, I will show you my drawing next to the official Doors art, and to see how close I was. Make sure to watch this video in the dark with the lights off and your headphones on for the best viewing experience. Doors, written by Emmy_da_Flareon. Here's a good tip for anyone struggling with door 50. The more the merrier. If you don't understand what that means, I'm trying to say that the more players are alive when you enter door 50, the easier it is to collect the books and crack the code. But normally in my run-throughs, I mostly end up by myself. Except for this run-through. As usual with this game, once entering door 50, a creature called Figure would start charging at us three, but because of its stumpy-like feet, the whole library shook with each faster step the figure took. Its steps shook the library so much that a lamp on our left fell over. Because the figure is blind on this floor, it heard the lamp shatter and ran faster than someone fleeing the IRS. Actually, the figure would very well be the IRS in that situation. Before I continue telling my story as to how this run became my first ever successful run, I need to introduce the three of us that were just nearly eaten by a blind creature, just because someone opened the door so loudly. As you would already know, I'm Emmy the Hunter, but I'm mostly referred to as Emmy as it's easier to say. Then there was a female player who I didn't know very well, but because I never got permission from them to use their name, I will have to call them Noob Master 69. That'll keep the Marvel fans entertained, I hope. And then the other player on the other hand, he's named Chris, and he had never played Doors before, yet was playing this like how I was, pretty much a pro. Both me and Noob explain the main enemies that the other players always encounter, like Timothy, Figure, Screech, Eyes, and Seek. Normally a new player would still die, but have more knowledge due to playing with pro players. Yet this Chris guy, which I hope he is named Chris because somehow he had no name tag, knew not to hide in the closets to the point of Hyde kicking you out, and basically dodged all dangers. It was cool, but a little odd too. The greatest reaction I like seeing is the one when any player first meet Figure in the library, which Chris provided. "What in God's name was that?" he shouted, me knowing he was afraid but trying to hide it with a nervous chuckle. It's great that the Figure doesn't hear any player that talks, otherwise we would be dead. "All we need is books and the code from the table to get to the exit," I said as I crouched down and started walking low, which Noob and Chris did the same thing. Noob also explained to Chris that what we saw at that moment was Figure. Some time went by, my heart racing as I watched Figure go towards the direction of the entrance, and I made a crouched run for it to the bookshelves closer to the exit with a padlock on it. Luckily, I got the paper with the code on it, but unfortunately, as I went for a couch that had one side touching the wall, which made it angled, Figure did try to come closer to where I was, until it made a blood-curdling sound, which indicated that it heard someone's heartbeat. You heard that right. Figure is as blind as a school teacher is blind to bullying. Yet its hearing is so good that it can hear your heartbeat if you're too close. Anyways, it also made a heart-stopping crunch, which also meant that the Figure killed either Noob or Chris. Not long after, all the books were collected and I figured out the code. So while staying low, I went to the exit and started turning the numbers to the coded numbers, when I heard someone who was also staying low walk over to me. This meant that it was only going to be two leaving the library. Once I waited for Figure to go far away, I immediately clicked the green side button to unlock the padlock, and the both of us made a break for it. Hearing the skin crawling growl that Figure normally makes, word hears that the players opened the exit doors. The exit doors then quickly slammed shut behind us as we both took a little break from how insane the level really was. Even when I get past that level, my nerves become shaky, thanks to Figure. This was the perfect opportunity to realize that it was going to be just me and Chris, as Noob was going to be spectating us, which she said so thanks to having my watch that I have. It's really useful, considering it can also teleport you out of games if you ever feel like leaving. Also, it's a way for Noob to say their thoughts on doors they've never made it to before. Door by door, me and Chris made it to another long hallway, which looked just like the one when Seek appeared back in door 30, or 40. At this point, it was between door 70 and 85, just as we were close to opening door 76, I think? Anyways, Seek then crawled back up off the floor, before giving us a chase for our money, for the second time. Now, normally you somehow become on your own when both chases happened, yet the first chase I was able to see Chris. It's why I chose the words, a little odd, earlier for anyone asking. We both made it thankfully, and we're at door 90. What I couldn't shake off was the fact that I was still a little shaky from door 50. I don't know how or why, but thankfully, this is a success story. As each door increased its number, I grew more determined to get past door 100 and not get killed by Figure there. Not this time. Once we opened door 99, Chris became surprised with the amount of closets there were, which was the same reaction as I had when I first came across this door. While Chris walked ahead, I had to stop and take in a few deep breaths, just to try and calm myself down before walking again. Here's another tip for this part. If you used furniture instead of the closets back on door 50, that tactic will not work. Trust me. I've been there and through the disappointment. Why? While door 50 Figure can hear so well, door 100 Figure can see you. Well, that's what I think at least. Anyways, as door 100 was opened, I could pretty much feel the surprise from New Master 69's soul, as they've never made it this far before. And Chris never even played this game before. Reluctantly, I pushed the lever, which activated the massive iron doors and revealed door 100. Figure immediately. I told Chris to hide in a closet, while I hid under the bed. I had been told it's the best option as you can see it better than in a closet. Once we both hid, Figure came out to play, and immediately went close to the bed. So I had to control my heartbeat if I wanted to survive. And this time I did. As so did Chris too. When the coast was clear, I immediately went out of hiding and got him out of his closet, so we would both get the key, unlock the door to electricity, activate electricity, and get into the elevator to escape. Both Chris and I were so scared when we both heard real loud thuds from the Figure. To this day, I have no idea what it was doing. Everything seemed like it was going to be a train wreck, as the puzzle with the switches was a true pain. But luckily, we had each other, and New Master 69 watching us from above. I, with the help of Chris, activated the electricity and ran for the elevator. Basically, it was like we were running from the IRS, and Figure is the IRS. As I closed the elevator doors, it started moving down, It all seemed like the nightmare was finally over, until Figure landed on top of the bloody elevator. This caused the elevator to go down faster as Figure broke some rope to ensure the elevator wasn't going to kill people. Then, before we knew it, it turned dark. Real dark. Then a bit of light appeared, which said, "To be continued." The best part about being in any Roblox game is that all the games are some sort of simulation. No one actually dies, and the watch I mentioned earlier, it can send you back to the lobby of any game with a lobby, or it can just send you to the real, white-colored lobby so you can play a different game. Well, that was really fun, I guess. I'll just catch you later, Emmy, Chris said while I was in my rant about how happy I was that I finally finished Doors. So when I was going to talk with Chris, he was nowhere to be found, and to this day, I can't find anything that is linked to Chris, not even his avatar. Normally, I'm not one to go looking in the catalog, but I've certainly never seen anything like him before. Was he, or is he even a real Roblox player? And that was the end of the story. Now it's time to compare my memory art to the official Doors art. For clarity, I will be rating my own art on a scale of 1 to 10, based on how close I think I got to the original art. First up, we have the easiest ones. These were a breeze thanks to the simple, yet effective character design. Window, I give it a 10 out of 10. Very close. Shadow, also 10 out of 10. Super easy. Timothy, so cute. 10 out of 10, very close. Hyde. So Hyde isn't actually seen in the game, but they will push you out of the closet if you're in there for too long. In the game, you can also unlock an achievement for evading Hyde, and that is when we see a tiny peek of what they might look like. 8 out of 10 only because I wish the closet looked more similar. Jack, 8 out of 10, the teeth are seriously off. Screech, 5 out of 10, I feel like I've done my favorite character, an injustice. Glitch, 2 out of 10, this one was hard to get the glitch in the background for me. Eyes, 2 out of 10, I think the whole shape is off and it isn't as creepy as the original. Halt, 1 out of 10, like what is that? Seek, 8 out of 10, I love Seek. Simple design but super creepy and easy to remember. Seek is also my son's favorite entity. He copies him all the time. Ambush, 1 out of 10. Again, the glitch was very hard for me to achieve in Procreate. Rush, 5 out of 10. Meatball, could be better. Guiding Light, I didn't actually draw Guiding Light on its own, and I only drew it when I added all of the entities together, which I will talk about in a little bit. And last but not least, Figure. Meatball Man, not the one from Renmo. 2 out of 10 only because I made him too meaty. And lastly, I did create a drawing with all of these characters together. And here's where I added in Guiding Light as well. I also added this design to my Teespring, so if you'd like this design on a shirt, please check out my shop. However, next Wednesday I will be reading another fan-made Doors story and redrawing these characters, but actually using the original art as a reference and not just from memory. So I'm expecting it to be a lot better and a lot closer to the actual art. Those designs will also go on a shirt, so if you'd like to wait and see how those turn out next week, please do. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks again to Amy DeFlarion for letting me read their story for you guys. Please click the like button if you liked the video, and subscribe if you haven't. As always, please leave a creepy comment. It really helps me out, and I love to hear from you guys. Until the next video, bye!